yo. That's so good.
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to do it.
Okay, run up.
I'm gonna come out salty, man, like a chip.
I was pushing him, so he finally took the challenge. Very
The
good.
hot dip challenge, y'all.
Very good. It's like a cup of hot chocolate in the morning time, but it's not what it's doing.
This is milk chocolate, brother. Milk chocolate.
I'm telling
Yo,
you.
Eugene, get in here, man.
I got no shot, bro.
Chicken.
Hi there. Hope you're doing fine wherever you are today. So, coming to the motherland has always been a dream of at least some African Americans who have the vision of maybe settling in Africa, maybe retiring in Africa, maybe some just want to visit for some time, then go back to the US. So, all in all, this still applies to you. So, what's the story today? The story is about this African American guy who came to Sierra Leone, Africa, to see what Africa got for him. And in the middle of the things, he started business, and seems like the business didn't go well. So with that being said, it means that he went through some losses, and it became unbearable for him. So he had to go back to the US to strategize, and then come back to Africa with new plan, with new goal, with new energy, which still is not bad, because giving up is not an option. So I just want you to watch this video and then revert back to me as I give you a commentary about this issue. There's also something beautiful that I want to tell you, that if you take heed of it before coming, especially if you're having a plan of setting business here in Africa. Most of you might be wondering, why am I talking about business and I'm just a young person who's in Africa? There are some things which are universal, maybe just need to be reminded, and I'll borrow around your 10 minutes just to listen to what I'll say about this, and I hope that it helps you wherever you are. So let's watch this video, then come back, have a commentary about it. I hope that all of us learn from his experiences, because experience is the best teacher, and I believe that he will come back stronger, energetic, after strategizing and getting the resources that he requires to go back to Africa, to come back to Africa, because I believe that he will come back to Africa definitely. So let's watch the video, then come back, say something.
Gonna delay it at all. I'm letting you guys know I'm leaving the continent of Africa. I'm leaving this Saturday. Right now, this is Monday, April 22nd. I will be out of here on the 27th. So just to be very clear, I am moving away from the continent of Africa. And what I have discovered and what I have learned with the expenses that I have, with the responsibility that I have, and with the overall plans that I have to scale this business, build this platform, that cannot be done on the income that is being generated here in Sierra Leone. Potentially, it could have been done on the income generated in Nigeria, potentially, but we're talking about starting a business from scratch here on the continent. And I don't do the salacious things, right? I don't engage in some of the things online that help people go viral in a way that would allow my platform to grow exponentially at a speed that is, faster than the general growth that you can expect, right? So especially the paid platforms, the platforms that pay you to participate on those platforms with, giving a piece of the revenue from advertising. So, as I evaluated things, this decision has been a long time coming. I've been thinking about this since right around the day my laptop crashed, to be honest. I think the day my laptop crashed in October, and actually prior to that, there had been some other family things going on. And something happened that I haven't spoken about here on this platform, and maybe I'll speak about it later. But when that happened, that had a profound impact on my life and on my family's life, and specifically some people around me. And it required some expenditures that were not easily obtained to make things happen. And when that happened, I thought, okay, this is a reminder that I need to have a certain level of disposable income to be able to solve big challenges that you will find here. Subsequently, my laptop crashed. And the reason why it crashed was because I was putting off certain things that I could have put in place that would have mitigated some of these issues, like having solar, like having step-down converters or transformers, like having multiple 4+ terabyte external hard drives, having high-speed fiber internet at home. These are all things that I looked at as not necessities, but things that I'll decide to get later as I work on the things that are most important. You know, making sure that I put a roof over this building, making sure that the windows are stable, making sure that we work to break ground on the new property, you know, getting the plumbing set up and the electricity set up and all these different things that I prioritized ahead of things that go around the business, which ended up causing major setbacks in business. And so you had personal things, you had professional things that were all being put off because I wasn't generating the level of income necessary to be able to just kind of swipe it on a card and just take care of all of it. I decided when I moved to the continent that I wasn't going to take on any new debt. In the first year, I took on a little bit of debt, and I said, you know what, I'm going to pay back that debt. I'm not taking on any new debt. So especially in 2021, so for all of, or was it 2022? Sorry. In 2022, I decided I was going to cover all my debt. I wasn't going to take on any more debt. And so there are no credit cards. So everything I said is going to be paid in cash. I'm not taking out any new credit cards. I'm going to pay it in cash. And if I can't, then I need to make some serious decisions and make some changes. And so, you know, so that leads up to October of 2023. A tragic family event happens. Laptop crashes. And then fast forward to March of 2024, and another major family event happens, and it requires more expenditures, and understanding that there's so many other things happening, and all of these things, it just kind of was like a culmination of all these things that tells you, all right, you need to change some things in order to be able to help more within these situations. You know, I am unmarried, no kids, which allows me to be able to move around and make decisions on my own without having to confer with people. But there are times where you're going to be expected to step in and help out more than you might be able to, or might even be willing to at specific times. And, you know, being on the continent, you are going to run into challenges with expenses.
You know, after listening to the brother's experience about his business here in Africa, which didn't work for him, also he had some family things which was happening in his life the way he has just described. And there's these things that sometimes back I actually talked about when I used to address the diaspora issues, especially African Americans who used to come to the motherland, depending on whatever country you want to come. These things are a common thing, you know, and just a reminder, not in a bad way, but we Africa were still developing, and there are some things that you might need to take slow, you know. So it was sad that it hasn't worked for him, but that's not the end, because we have the solutions. So that could be you. That's why I want you to listen to what I'll say about this. Now, before coming to Africa, there's some things that need to be put in place. And sometimes diasporans come to Africa, and even sometimes they forget the things that they came to do. And only maybe few or some who gets to remember, like, no, I need to get this done, I need to get this done, I need to get this done. So my point in this is, a person who wants to start a business here in Africa, there are some common things in ground that you need to know. One thing that I'll tell you, even before telling you the things that you need to know about, regardless of the business that you want to do, there's these common things that you need to consider. This is a must. I mean, you have to consider them. You don't have any other way. There is no loophole for this. Before I say that, before coming to Africa, probably you know this, but I just want to remind you, you need to have something in your hands, at least something, not something big, at least, because even we locals, we don't have that much. So at least you need to have something to hold on, you know. Also, another thing that I'll say first and before even going to the points is, if you can, or if it's good, have something going on in the US to act as a backup plan in case things don't work here in Africa. Just in case, yeah, probability, you have something to hold on while in the motherland. So these are the universal things you need to know before starting a business in Africa, or if you're having a plan of coming to Africa. The revised version of 2024, the factors still remains the same. Number one is you need to conduct your due diligence, research the market, you know. Some parts of Africa are still technologically advancing, not yet advanced, but we are still on the way of advancing. So if you have if you're selling a complex product that needs a lot of technology, probably you won't find customers, and that's something which is natural. Understand your market, and that's what you do by research before coming to a place, you know. It's not in a bad way, but you need to conduct the research on the target market, including the cultural norms, economic conditions, and consumer behavior, just like what I've said, to better understand the business landscape. Do a business that wherever Africa has 54 countries, just a reminder, I know you know, when Africa has 54 countries, it means that different countries have some given products that maybe they consume. Cultural norms plays a factor. Economic factors also plays a factor. What's the GDP of the country? The product that you bring in that country, are they able to buy them? Are they able to sustain them? Do they require those services? You know, those are the research that you need to conduct, so that you don't become a victim of, you know, of course it's not a good thing, and nobody wants you to fall into losses while in the motherland, you know. So that's why I created this video for you. Number two, the second thing that you also need to do is financial planning. Yeah, it might sound, you know, always have a plan. You might have a lot while coming to the motherland to start a business or something, but listen, develop a comprehensive financial plan that accounts for potential challenges and fluctuations in currency exchange rates, ensuring there is enough capital to sustain the business during the periods of uncertainty. Especially in Kenya, exchange rates have been fluctuating drastically. So for example, you came to the US when 1 USD or 1 baht was around 140 Kenyan shillings. This is just an example. You stayed for a month. The dollar, the cash, the Kenyan shillings gained against the dollar. It means that when you have the dollars, you lose some bits of the money. So if you planned like with the fixed amount, you might have some loopholes. That's why you need to plan, set some money ahead for some fluctuations. Just in case there's a fluctuation, you can find yourself fitting somewhere, leave some space for some cash, for some extra cash. Some people call it miscellaneous. Leave some extra cash for your activities that you want to do here in the motherland. That will give you a room to avoid the unforeseen uncertainties, you know, that might happen, like the currency fluctuations. Maybe you've landed into a problem, you know, because society is just like any other society. You might fall into a problem, you know. Number three, you need to adaptability. It's also a factor, you know. Adapt with the environment. Look at what people do. Try not like be the same like them, so that you might feel you might fit in. Now listen, be prepared to adapt your business model and strategies based on the local context and feedback from customers. Flexibility is key to navigating unforeseen obstacles. Maybe back in the US, there are ways of talking to clients, there are ways of conducting business. If you come to Africa, say Kenya, my country, you find that people deal things in different ways. Try to adapt so that you also be in the game, because it's either you be in the game or you fall out of the game. So just adapt for your good and just say the same language that people do. Use the same tricks that locals do. You'll find yourself thriving just like any other person. I'd like to address something to do with networking. This is something which is so important. Some of African Americans or Black Americans want to come to the motherland. They just come to the motherland because I want to come to the motherland, you know. Before coming to the motherland, create a connection with people. It can be stakeholders, it can be a group of people that deals with immigration or something. They can tell you things to do with businesses that you can do while in the motherland, how to buy plots, how to buy land, how to do what. For instance, in Kenya, there's an African American family called the Muhammads. Probably, if you're watching this content, you might have come across them. Yeah, they help African Americans to adapt in things that they do. And with that being said, they might just guide you and help you. And that's the networking that I'm talking about. Come as a group as African Americans. It can be a friend, it can be family. They can help you navigate how to do things here in the motherland, or find some locals that you trust that is in the sector, business sector, or something that related to what you want to do, and they can help you do what you want to do, you know. Risk management as my sixth point. Develop contingency plans to mitigate risk and minimize potential losses in case of unforeseen challenges. Try to avoid as many problems as you can while in the motherland. Try to be clean. Don't get into fraud because you're doing business. Try to be clean to reduce the risk of going into losses. At the end of the day, fraudulent will make you make big losses, because shortcuts, you know the end of them. You know, that's just straight. That's common. So you find yourself losing money because you took shortcut. Another thing, the seventh one, is patience and perseverance. Understand that building a successful business takes time and persistence. Be prepared to overcome obstacles and setbacks with determination and resilience. And in everything that you do, it needs patience. Even Rome was not built in one day. It takes time, you know. It takes time for it to click. It takes time for it to start making sense. Even the baby starts by, one step at a time, and then it will make sense. With the obstacles, if you feel that you've taken enough, like the brother felt like he has taken enough, go back to America. Come back after strategizing and do your thing. This is the motherland. There is a free spirit. Anyone can thrive wherever you come from. Doesn't matter. Seek mentorship. Some of you might want to seek mentorship. I'll talk again about the Muhammads. So, for example, here in Kenya, we have the Muhammads as a group of African Americans who helps diasporans with immigration issues, how to start business and everything. And they usually have conferences that they attend. They talk to people when they want to buy land, when they want to do things, they want to visit places in Africa. They make it easier for them, That's part of mentorship. They liaise with different stakeholders who help them in business-wise, do things that they want to do back here in the motherland. And that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Sometimes you might need mentorship. You just landed into the motherland. You don't know what business to do, or maybe you have a business, but you don't know how to start it. You don't know who to consult. You don't know which farm to go. You need people like that. That's mentorship that you need to do. Number 9 is embrace technology. Technology in which sense? You have different forms of technology. Listen. Seek guidance and mentorship from experienced entrepreneurs, both within the outside your community, who can provide valuable advice and support. Um, okay. Embrace technology. Utilize technology to streamline operations such as wider audience and stay connected with customers and stakeholders, especially in increasingly digital world. For African Americans coming to the motherland, I think this is something that you're already used to because everything is technologically advanced. While in Africa, we're still struggling, but depending on the line of your business, you might need to employ technology in the form of business that you do. Number 10, stay true to your values. Maintain integrity and uphold ethical standards in all business dealings, regardless of challenges you may face. Build trust and credibility is essential for a long-term business. Yeah, the deal might be good, but it might be short-term. So create a credible relationship between you and your customer. Remember, they usually say that a customer will not come back to you because you have a good product. The customer will always come back to you because of how you made them feel. So I hope this information reaches you well, wherever you are. Until then, peace, love, and harmony. This is your Gene Talk Stories. See you in my next episode. Salute. You know how we do.